Hello, good afternoon. Rail passengers across the region face disruption this weekend as major engineering works are carried out. Roads and rail routes in Manchester are particularly affected, as Naomi Cornwell reports.
Manchester's Victoria Station has been unusually quiet today. Many passengers have found alternative ways to travel following warnings of disruption to services over the bank holiday weekend. And this is one of the projects being carried out. The Oddsall Cord will link Victoria and Piccadilly stations for the first time. The aim is to eventually get more trains through Manchester every hour. But city centre road closures will also be necessary while a bridge is replaced, the Castlefield Viaduct is strengthened and new track is laid.
The routes into Victoria blocked from the north, that's from Bolton and Southport, and there are also routes are blocked from Liverpool into Victoria Station. We've practically refurbished and replaced the majority of the railway within the central Manchester area.
While many rail routes are quiet, thousands of people are flying from the region's airports this weekend. Manchester Airport says it expects more than 290,000 people to pass through its doors, a 12% increase year on year. For those staying at home and hoping to avoid disruption, Network Rail and Transport for Greater Manchester say they'll have updates on their websites. It's hoped most of the engineering works will be completed by Tuesday morning. Naomi Cornwell, BBC North West Today in Manchester.
3 children on the Isle of Man are in hospital after swallowing an unknown substance. The children aged 11 and 12 are in a stable condition at Nobles Hospital. It's thought they found the substance near the Bowl in Douglas at the National Sports Centre yesterday. An investigation's underway. 2 men are still being questioned in connection with the death of a 20-year-old in Manchester city centre as his family paid tribute to him. Dylan Crawford was described as loving, kind and trustworthy. He was found unconscious on Wednesday and died later. The men have been arrested on suspicion of theft and supplying prohibited drugs. An exhibition is taking place in Liverpool's Central Library in St George's Hall, celebrating the work of the Merseyside poets. The anthology of poems was published 50 years ago and was a bestseller, making Brian Patton, Roger McGough and Adrian Henry famous. Exhibits including artwork, photos and leaflets that gave an insight into the creative landscape of the 60s.
He'd come to a poetry reading, then he'd go on to the Iron Door or the Cavern or wherever, you know. Nobody made a difference between the poetry and the music, really.
One of the 5 museums in Lancashire which had to close due to council budget savings reopened today. Fleetwood Museum's the only one of 5 which closed last September to reopen its doors. The attractions in the process are being transferred from the council to the Fleetwood Museum Trust. On to sport now, and there's lots of Football League action today. We'll have the results for you later, but in Super League, Wigan are playing St Helens at half-time at the DW Stadium. Wigan are leading St Helens 8 points to 2. Later today, Salford Red Devils take on Lee Centurions at the AJ Bell Stadium. And in cricket, Lancashire in County Championship action at Surrey. The Red Rose won the toss, and at lunch they're currently 91 for 5. Now let's check on the bank holiday weather. Details from Alex Hamilton.
Good afternoon. Well, we've got some rather changeable weather over the bank holiday weekend. This afternoon we've got this patchy light rain working its way across the region with highs of around 13 degrees Celsius. Then as we go through the course of tonight, that rain will steadily start to ease off. Still some showers though in the early hours, and lows tonight under clearer skies of around 4 degrees Celsius. Then as we look towards tomorrow morning, it will be a slight improvement for Saturday. Some brighter spells at times, variable amounts of cloud, and then the scattered showers working across the region over the course of the afternoon. Highs of around 11 degrees Celsius with a mixture of sunshine and showers over the next few days.
Now, just before we go, how cute's this? A baby giraffe born at Chester Zoo a week ago has taken its first wobbly steps under the watchful gaze of its mother. 20 million people watched online when he was born and fell 6 feet to the ground. That's it from me for now. Graham's back at 6:15. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.